Every single time I think that I'm not going to be making Sister Wives content for a hot minute because there's nothing to talk about, Gwen posts another reaction to the last season that we just watched, and suddenly there's more to talk about because, as you guys know, Kody and Christine Brown's daughter has been doing reaction videos to the previous season. She hasn't seen some of these clips or known some of the things that occurred during the time that they filmed this season. So she's watching it for the first time, and seeing her dad behave the way that he's behaved has made their relationship worse. She said in this last reaction that she did that prior to her watching this season that their relationship had gotten a little bit better, but after watching the season and her saying, you know, she dislikes him more from watching it, that their relationship isn't doing good again.
Then another general question, Mitzi says, how do you and your dad get along? He seems like he only cares about Robyn and her kids. Do you feel that way, or is it just the TV edit that makes it look like that? Congratulations on your engagement. Thank you, Mitzi. So my dad and I don't get along the best. We did for a second there before I started watching the show, and like seeing how he was behaving towards my mother and stuff, but not as much anymore, and not as much before that either. So no. Do you feel that seems like he only cares? Yeah, it seems like that to me too. We talk about that a lot, that it's all about Robyn and her kids in the family. So yes, unfortunately. Then Den Brown says, in this episode we see more of your father's outbursts, emotional attachments to Robyn and her children, to seeing the favoritism, straight up unwillingness to remember the birthday of his child, change the viewpoint of your father that you have. In a sense, doesn't taint your feelings towards Kody. Sorry, this is kind of a repeat of the last question in a way. It doesn't change my viewpoint. This is how he is. This is how he just is to me.
And she also said in her reaction that basically all of the kids are estranged from Kody. There's like a couple, maybe one, who isn't, but everybody else is basically estranged, apart from Robyn's kids and Robyn's, you know, side of the family.
Jen said, are Gabe, Garrison, and Kody still estranged, and has that affected his relationships with other children who side with them? Yes, actually most of us are pretty much estranged. The majority of Janelle's kids are completely estranged from Kody. Definitely some of mine and most of the siblings in general.
So I've said this before, but it's really sad to see, you know, the child of Kody reacting, and she's cried in some of her reactions. She has gotten mad. I just feel like you have to know that you have failed as a parent when your child is doing reaction videos to your reality show on their YouTube channel and they don't have anything nice to say about you and they're not even speaking to you. One of the first things that she said, which I thought was interesting, I know that a lot of people aren't Robyn fans. I still come from this place of Kody's responsible for everything because he's the man that was married to all these women and made the decisions that he's made. Like, he's responsible for that. But I know that a lot of people put it all on Robyn, and I think she does bear responsibility for some things that she's done. I will say this, it does seem like sometimes she maybe tries to portray herself one way on camera, because in this clip she says that she doesn't want the kids to know anything that's going on because it's basically not something that, you know, they need to be hearing about. But then Gwen says that's not true, because in a couple episodes before that she said that her daughter was like, hey, you and Christine should go on some dates or something like that.
I haven't given Saul and Ari too much information about what's been happening. This is just not something they need to worry about as little kids.
She has been telling them some stuff though, because like Ariella, like 2 episodes ago, was like, why are you breaking up with dad? Go on more dates. So there has been some information.
Her kids did know what was going on, but she tried to act like she didn't want to talk to them about it. I found that to be interesting because I don't know what was the point of her saying that if they already knew and they were talking about it. It kind of comes off to me sometimes like she wants to make it sound like she doesn't talk about any members of the family at all, or doesn't talk bad about them or talk bad about them with Kody. You know that she says stuff behind the scenes. It appears as though she wasn't being completely honest in this situation, but I don't think that this is one of the worst things that we've seen. I think this is maybe her just not thinking before she speaks, maybe. One other thing I want to bring up about Robyn is that she said in this that she doesn't really know why Robyn acts like nobody gave her a chance and that everybody was so mean to her. And she actually says that if anything, it was Robyn that was mistreating them, not the other way around.
I mentioned that when Robyn came into the picture, she was treated so poorly by the other wives. As a viewer, it never appeared that way in the first 15 seasons. Robyn was treated kindly. Has everyone called him out for believing Robyn's pathological lies that she has been feeding to your dad to make him honestly believe she was treated so badly? I have a feeling the wives never treated her as bad as she said. I honestly agree with that. I feel like it never really happened. From my memory especially, it seemed like in the situation, Robyn was just one of the wives. if there's been any weird animosity, it's not because we've been mistreating Robyn. It's because she's been victimizing herself or mistreating us. Please correct me if I am wrong, because everyone reminded him it's all recorded. He can easily watch how Robyn was treated versus what Robyn is saying. It's really funny to think about that, because we're all like, we've seen this, there's evidence. But no, not really. He surrounds himself with people who has the same beliefs as him, so he doesn't really get the chance to, in my opinion, receive opposing feedback.
She also said that Robyn was victimizing herself, which that's been a lot of things that people have been speculating on, is that she kind of tries to make things about her. And I won't get into this again, but I did talk about it in a previous video that I did about this. I think it was the last one that I did, that Kody didn't really start flipping out during that conversation with Christine and all the wives and all that until Robyn got upset that Christine didn't want to have a relationship with her. Then he just started losing it, right? And, you know, he has said numerous times that he has a better relationship with Robyn and her kids because she's loyal and basically bows down to him and treats him like a god.
I have somebody in my life who is fundamentally loyal to me, who sees me as the head of the family. I'm saying to you that you and I get that if you're loyal to me.
You act like it's only one side.
Somebody came into our family and treated us all very kindly, and they perceive something else.
Like, I get that he wants, like, an apology, but Robyn's not the only one who had, like, people attacking her, and while she's not, like, the one that's at fault here, not like anybody else is more at fault than she is. I think the real problem here is that Kody just has favorites, and he has a habit of picking Robyn over his other family members.
Kody says to Janelle in this clip that I have somebody who's loyal to me and who views me as the head of the family. And then Janelle's like, well, if you felt that I was loyal to you and viewed you as the head of the family, would you be doing all of this stuff for me? And we all know the answer to that.
I mean, if it was the situation was reversed, would you be acting this defensive about me?
You and I have been acting like we weren't a married couple for most of our marriage, Janelle.
Whose fault is that?
He's like, oh, you and I haven't been acting like we're a married couple anyway. And it's like, whose fault is that? Like, Kody is notorious for literally being the reason why things are not good, but then looking at anybody he can find to point a finger at and being like, it's because of you. Listen, honey, you're the one that took on multiple wives. So if it's not good, it's probably because you have other wives to go to. You have other wives to escape to when it's not good, but they don't have that. And then he'll like make comments in this about Nell acting like she's a single woman.
You actually live like a single woman.
I thought that's what plural marriage was about, like being independent.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do if you're not independent?
I'll ask him and my needs get ignored. Guess what? I decided to be my own hero and I rescued myself and I started doing things for myself.
Period.
Buying an RV and moving into it.
I understand.
Let me just explain a few things, okay? Single woman decision. Going to see your kids without your husband for holidays. Single woman decisions.
You could come.
Okay, I'm spitting mad now. I could stay home and hang out with he and Robyn and Robyn's kids. The RV, he didn't show up and say, let's help find you a rental.
It's single woman decisions because he is treating her like she's not his wife.
I have such an issue with that because it's like, what are they supposed to do when you're not there? What are they supposed to just sit around and be like, oh, where's Kody? Oh, I miss Kody, and just do nothing? They have to be independent because they're in a polygamous marriage where the man is never there. They have to take care of the kids. They have to provide. They have to do all of these things because he's not around, but then they get shamed for it. Instead of him being proud of them and lifting them up and being like, you are so amazing, you boss ass bitch, he has to like act like it's a bad thing that they had some sort of independence. Do you want a bunch of wives that sit there and cry and just do nothing with their lives because you're not home? And then Kody literally talks down to her and says, are you a strong enough woman to let me heal?
Are you a strong enough woman to help me heal?
Are you strong enough to solve my issues?
He just says the most disgusting things to these women and he gets upset that they don't want anything to do with him. If anything, we should honestly all feel bad for Robyn because she doesn't have a very good husband. Like, she's in a relationship where she obviously has to roll out the red carpet for Kody Brown, or she's going to end up in the same boat that the other wives are. And I don't know if she really wants that responsibility, because if he doesn't get any other wives, she's going to have to do that 24/7. But if he gets other wives, she could have a little bit of a break here and there. I mean, if Kody truly believes that he needs other wives to get to a certain level in heaven, he will definitely find some other wives. I think the thing, like the shocking thing, I mean, it's not shocking, but the most upsetting thing that I gathered from this reaction that she did, Robyn and Kody Brown are anti-vax, but they were very like, we don't want anybody around us. You all have to follow these extremely strict rules down to wiping down your mail. And if you don't do these things, we're not going to be around you. But then they ended up getting COVID from a babysitter.
It's been 20 months since the corona apocalypse started.
Corona apocalypse.
And now, Robyn and Brianna both are sick.
No.
Brianna tested positive. We pretty much need to assume that all of us have it if one of us has it.
So yesterday I felt pretty yucky.
Period.
Towards the end of the night I had a fever and body aches and chills.
So everybody got really sick except I guess Ariella didn't get sick from it, because as soon as they all got sick, she went and quarantined herself into the bedroom. So they're all in the same house. I also want to mention this too. Gwen was saying it was a little bit weird because Robyn got really sick and actually had to go to the hospital, but she was like filming herself, and she was like, it's kind of a weird thing if you like feel like you're dying, but then you're literally filming yourself in the hospital bed with COVID.
At this point, after having COVID for a week, I can't breathe very well.
A week? You have vaccinated people?
Robyn's not improving. Finally, our doctor just says, take her to the hospital. People go to the hospital to die.
I didn't want to say goodbye because I didn't want it to be the last time I saw them.
It was that bad.
I've been here at the hospital for, I think, 6-7 hours. They're backed up.
Ooh.
She says, I'm sitting here just wasting away.
It's so wild to me to think about that, like, she's here, like, suffering in a hospital, and she pulls out the camera. But it's weird to me that specifically when she's sick, she pulls out the camera.
My lungs sound like COVID. My x-rays look good. My EKG looks good. I should be okay to go home tonight.
All this is so bizarre to me. I'm glad that Robyn's okay. That was a lot to happen in one episode. It was so, okay, I made this point, like, while watching it, but, like, did anyone else feel, like, weird or, like, icked out by the fact that she felt like she was dying and she pulled out her camera? Like, that's not like a Robyn problem, but I'm just like thinking, like, it's such a weird like state of mind to have, that you're like, you're suffering. She was talking about how like it hurt to breathe and it hurt to move, and she was like, her first instinct or something was to pull out the camera and start recording herself. Like, it's vlogging to the point of where it's less human to me.
In my opinion, is if she really felt that bad, she probably wouldn't have been filming herself. I don't know why you would ever grab a camera and be like, oh, I'm dying right now. But they're all in the same house, okay? Like Kody and Robyn and all their kids, they're all quarantined together, okay, to build the situation for you. Kody hasn't seen some of his kids in a really long time. I mean, in this episode, one of his kids was crying because he forgot about their birthday and didn't even call them to tell them happy birthday. Not even see them on their birthday, but didn't call him to tell him happy birthday. So he's estranged from all of his kids, right?
In January, I got COVID.
No.
October rolls around, specifically October 11th, my birthday. And Dad calls me. I didn't remind him that it was my birthday because I wanted to see if he remembered.
That's cute. That's like valid though. It's not like you're...
And so to him, it was just a phone call.
Oh God, no, 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 no. I bet the cameras love the fact that he's crying. They're like, hell yeah, this is content. This sucks ass. I feel like it's so rude to just watch this. Like, I feel like I need to give him some privacy.
And that's the last time I ever talked to my dad.
But he's in the same house with Robyn's side of the family. One of them was quarantining in a room in the same house. She's there. You can see her from a far enough distance, but he's crying because she's quarantining in a room and that he can't see her.
The whole family, with the exception of Aurora, got COVID.
As soon as she saw that we were sick, she went down into her room, shut the door, and stayed there.
There's this one night when Aurora comes upstairs and she's like 10 feet away from us. I miss you guys. Like, yeah, Aurora, I miss you too. It's been like 10 days.
Wild. He's crying about not seeing his daughter for 10 days. Just makes me think. Chelsea R says, as a viewer, seeing Gabe be so vulnerable on camera was just heartbreaking. Then a scene after that, we see her dad crying over not seeing Aurora for 10 days. Knowing he's gone significantly longer without seeing many of his other kids, how did that feel watching that as one of his kids, particularly one who he went long periods of time without seeing? Rude. It felt offensive to me because I don't know, I've never seen or felt that he ever felt like sad about not being able to see me for a long period of time. It felt detached and unreal to me because it just felt different because I've known him for longer and he's been in my life longer than he's been in Robyn or any of her kids' lives, and so is Gabe, and it's weird because how can you so easily push aside somebody with that much history and just treat them as second? It's weird. It's just weird to me.
Every other family member that he doesn't see, there's no tears shed for that. There's just blaming, being rude, yelling at them, treating them terribly, not building a relationship with them or giving a crap at all. But this girl who came into the family when Robyn and him got married, he cares that he can't, get close to her, okay? That he can see her from a distance. This man has no awareness about how hurtful he is to all of his other children. I'm gonna say this at the end here. I think that Kody is extremely irresponsible. Him, marrying all of these women and making children than he did, which was a conscious decision. It was more so something that he could parade around. You know what I mean? Be look at all the wives that I have. I have so many wives and I have so many kids and I have so much property. Look at everything I have. He's accumulating people like things and then not maintaining the relationships with them. He's very he reminds me of somebody that wants to sit on a throne and have people just walk up to see him and he doesn't even have to move or lift a finger or do anything. And anything that's a little bit difficult, if he has to get off his butt and go actually try and be active in somebody's life and be present and put forth effort, he doesn't want to do that. He wants people to come to him. He wants people to do what he wants them to do. And if they don't, bye. And that's kind of messed up when it's your family. It's really sad because this whole family fell apart because of him, but he wants to blame everybody else for it. And I'm not saying that all of these women were perfect and that they never did anything wrong and that there's never been fights or arguments. There's things like that in families. That's normal, but you don't drop them like hot potatoes or pretend they don't exist. And I feel as a parent, you should pick up your phone and you should call your kids. You should try and have a relationship with them. And if you don't have the time for it or, you're too busy for it, you probably shouldn't have had a million kids to treat them like crap. You're creating human beings that are going to have trauma and a lot of things that they have to work through in their lives because of you. And I think that's awful. Now, I'm going to end it with this. I think one of the most jarring things is that we learned that Kody actually will order a cup of cold water and a cup of hot water and mix it together to make warm water and then squeeze lemons in it for an hour at a restaurant.
God, I can't even think of what they're saying. He's just obsessed with those lemons. He orders 1 cup of hot water and 1 cup of cold water and he'll mix them together to create warm water and he'll put the lemons in that.
Anybody who's doing something like this, there's something wrong with them because all you have to do is say, hey, could I get a cup of warm water? Or could I get some warm lemonade? He had the audacity to call Christine a pig for eating nachos. And he's out here doing this. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give it a thumbs up if you want to see more Sister Wives content from me. And I'll definitely do it if there's something to talk about. Make sure you guys check out my other content. And I will be seeing you guys soon for another video.